Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are immersing ourselves in really a cornerstone of American fiction, Harper Lee's 1960 novel, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, it's a book that so many people read often in school, but maybe don't always get, the full picture.
Exactly. It's shaped so much conversation about race and law and morality, but sometimes those deeper nuances kind of get glossed over in the summaries.
So it's really time to push past that surface level. We're heading to Macomb, Alabama. Imagine the scene, 1930s, Great Depression hitting hard. And our mission here is to really dig into the story's architecture, how Lee uses things like racial injustice, moral lessons, and that painful shift from childhood innocence
Yeah, the loss of innocence.
to build her main argument.
And we see this journey, this often painful journey, mostly through the eyes of the Finch family.
Right.
First, there's Scout Jean-Louise Finch. She's our narrator, sharp, always questioning. We see her grow from this, well, pretty innocent kid into a much more aware young person.
And she has her older brother, Jem, who's right there with her, kind of her protector, absorbing all the world's harshness too.
And then anchoring everything for the kids, for the town really, is their father, Atticus Finch,
Atticus.
the lawyer. He's got this unwavering moral code defining courage, even when, defeat seems absolutely certain.
And, to really understand the novel's shape, we have to start where the kids start,
Which is?
in that sort of hazy, imaginative world of their childhood, which is totally dominated by the town's big ghost story.
Right.
Mysterious, reclusive neighbor, Boo Radley, Arthur Radley.
Boo is, well, he's the ultimate outsider, isn't he? He's like this blank screen the kids project all their fears and fantasies onto.
Absolutely. Their early games, the dares about the Radley house, they seem innocent enough.
Yeah, just kids being kids.
But it's driven by this intense curiosity and, frankly, a complete lack of understanding about what's really going on inside that house.
And it's this fascination with the unknown. This is where Atticus steps in with probably the most important lesson he gives his children. It really underpins the whole story.
That famous line.
He tells Scout, "You never really understand a person until you climb into his skin and walk around in it."
It sounds simple, doesn't it? But think about Macomb. Think about the context.
Yeah.
How radical is that idea there? It's an immediate strike against prejudice, not just racial, but social prejudice, too.
And they're supposed to apply this empathy to Boo Radley first.
Yeah.
Right? The very person they've already decided is a monster.
Exactly. It's like step one in trying to break down those societal walls they live within.
And someone who's really crucial in this early stage is Calpurnia.
Yes, Calpurnia, the Finch family's black housekeeper. She's so much more than that, though.
Oh, absolutely. She's like a mother figure to them.
And maybe even more importantly, she acts as a bridge. She's the one who subtly introduces Scout and Jem to the realities of race and class that exist outside their sort of privileged little bubble.
Kind of preparing them, maybe unknowingly, for the storm that's coming.
Yeah, preparing them for the main conflict.
Because the novel really pivots here, doesn't it? It shifts from this childhood curiosity, this simple empathy lesson, to something much harsher.
Devastating reality, yeah. The lesson has to be applied in the starkest place possible, the courtroom.
And that's where the childhood world just gets shattered by the cruelty of the adult world.
So the main action, the thing everyone remembers, is the trial of Tom Robinson.
A black man falsely accused of raping Mayella Ewell, a young white woman from a very poor, troubled family.
And Atticus's decision to actually defend Tom, knowing full well the hatred it's going to stir up in town, that's the central act of quiet, principled rebellion in the book.
It's not just a legal defense, is it? It feels like a moral performance. He's doing it for his kids, for the town, even for us reading it.
Definitely. He knows he can't realistically win in that deeply racist 1930s Macomb courtroom.
But he argues anyway.
Yeah.
Based purely on facts, on evidence, on integrity.
And what's so powerful is how methodically Atticus takes apart the prosecution's case. That courtroom scene, it's just a masterclass in exposing the truth, even when that truth makes everyone incredibly uncomfortable.
He lays out some undeniable facts for the jury. What are the key ones?
Well, first, the evidence strongly suggests it was actually Mayella who was lonely and likely abused, who made advances toward Tom Robinson. That just shatters the whole narrative she's trying to sell.
Or like the innocent victim narrative.
And second, it becomes clear that the person who likely reacted violently wasn't Tom, but her own father, the despicable Bob Ewell.
He beat her when he found out what happened, didn't he?
That's what the evidence points to. And then there's the physical proof, the clincher.
Tom's arm.
Tom Robinson's left arm was completely useless. crippled in an old accident.
And Mayella's injuries, especially the bruises on her face.
They were consistent with someone hitting her hard with their right hand.
Meaning Tom physically couldn't have inflicted those specific injuries.
Exactly. It's the kind of aha moment in a trial that should lead straight to an acquittal.
Atticus proves it, beyond a reasonable doubt. Tom is innocent, Bob Ewell is the abuser.
But, and this is the painful core of it, the book makes the reality brutally clear.
The jury.
The jury isn't operating on evidence. Despite Atticus's logical, factual, powerful argument, the all-white jury convicts Tom.
Simply because of race.
Simply because of racial prejudice. The legal system utterly failed him, not because the defense wasn't good enough, but because the system itself was fundamentally biased.
You mentioned Atticus knew he'd lose. But was there maybe a touch of naivete in his idealism, believing so fiercely in the law and evidence to overcome that deep-seated prejudice?
That's a really critical tension Lee explores, isn't it? Atticus is the idealist. He's trying to save Tom through the public legal system.
Yeah.
But the aftermath just shows the raw brutality of Macomb's prejudice. Tom Robinson tries to appeal, gets desperate.
And he's shot and killed trying to escape prison.
Yes. The legal failure leads directly to his death. It's a devastating blow, especially for Jem, who starts to see the world as fundamentally unfair.
And the tragedy doesn't actually stop there. Bob Ewell.
Mm.
He feels humiliated by Atticus publicly exposing his lies and his abusiveness.
Utterly disgraced. And he doesn't seek redress through any legal means, of course. He goes for petty, violent revenge.
He attacks Scout and Jem, one night walking home in the dark.
That moment is terrifying. The villain attacking the innocent children. The conflict just boils over.
And this is where the story loops back, isn't it? Right back to the beginning.
It pays off that whole childhood obsession with the boogeyman next door.
Boo Radley.
The silent intervention. Boo Radley, the town's mystery, finally emerges from his isolation.
He saves the children.
He saves the children, and in the struggle, Bob Ewell is killed. The monster they feared becomes their quiet protector.
Wow. And Scout's final interaction with Boo, walking him home, that feels like maybe the most profound moment in the whole book.
I think it is. She finally truly applies her father's lesson. She climbs into Boo's skin and walks around in it, metaphorically speaking.
She sees him not as a monster, but as this fragile, kind, deeply misunderstood person.
She stands on his porch, sees the world from his perspective, and understands he wasn't kept inside just by cruelty, but maybe by his own fear of the world's cruelty outside.
That's the moment childhood innocence really dies, isn't it? She understands the harsh reality now.
It absolutely is. And this brings us right back to that central metaphor, the title.
To kill a mockingbird, why is it a sin?
Because mockingbirds are innocent. They don't harm anyone. They just make music, bring beauty.
So killing one is just senseless cruelty.
And the novel clearly points to two central victims, two mockingbirds destroyed by Macomb society, but in different ways.
Okay, who are they?
Well, first, obviously, Tom Robinson. Destroyed by public injustice, blatant racism. His destruction was, swift, brutal, very visible.
And the second?
Boo Radley. He was destroyed differently. By rumor, isolation, social prejudice. His destruction was slow, private, internal. It forced him to hide from a world he couldn't navigate.
Two parallel tragedies caused by the same societal sickness.
Exactly. So if we kind of synthesize this deep dive, the big lesson seems to be about empathy, right? The need for it to fight social inequality, systemic injustice.
But the ending throws a bit of a curveball at Atticus's pure idealism, doesn't it?
It really does. Think about Sheriff Hacktate's final decision.
About how Bob Ewell died.
Yes. He chooses to protect Boo Radley. He knows exposing Boo to public scrutiny now would destroy him completely, so he lies. He says Bob Ewell fell on his own knife.
He decides that taking the purely moral high ground, like Atticus did in court, isn't always the best way to protect an innocent person. Sometimes a different kind of justice is needed.
It's a really complex choice. Tom Robinson was destroyed when public legal justice failed him.
But Scout and Jem were saved by, essentially, private violence and a subsequent cover-up.
The novel forces us to sit with that ambiguity. It doesn't offer an easy answer.
Which leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe carry away.
Atticus chose a very public stand for principle. He tried to use the system, even flawed, to save an innocent man. We saw how that ended for Tom.
Then there's Boo Radley. He made a desperate, private, violent sacrifice to protect innocent children.
So consider this. We know the tragic outcome of Atticus's public courage. Which form of courage, the public, principled stand, or the private, protective, maybe even violent act, is ultimately more effective? And maybe which one is more dangerous for the person who attempts it in a world steeped in prejudice?
A really vital question raised by a novel that continues to resonate. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Harper Lee's masterpiece.
We'll see you next time.